Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. Today we have Jason Forrest with us. Jason, welcome. We're going to talk about a lot of things in this review. We're going to talk about lost RNF 96. We're going to talk about lost Black Sheep construction.
Yep.
Want to talk about your traction situation, what you like about it, what you like about it, what you might not like about it. But let's dive right in. Let's talk about RNF 96 first, right out of the blocks.
Right out of the blocks. All right. Graduated high school in 1997. Movie came out in 96. Been wanting one of these since then. And I got it 2 years ago when it first came in. And it's just a dream board, man. It's just like, you know, growing up in that era, watching Andy and Wardo and, you know, Bruce and all those guys riding this thing, it was a long time coming. I don't know what took me so long. Because since then, for 2 years, I've been riding the piss out of this thing. Just like all the time. It's been the board that's been in my truck. It's been on 2 surf trips. I just ride it in everything. I absolutely love it. It's the go-to for no matter your mood, no matter the waves, no matter how you want to surf. It's just been great.
Let's talk about your height and weight and what dimensions and volume you went with.
Yeah, I'm you know, I think I'm 5'8", like 155 to 160 pounds, and I went traditional 5'5". It's a little wider, so than the traditional 5'5", 19 1/4, but it's right at 28.5 liters, which is like right in my like shortboard volume. I ride bigger boards when the waves are bigger, but I really don't go below 28.5 liters, so it's on the bottom end. But it paddles so much better than any other board of this size that I have. Like when I'm feeling lazy, I'll ride like the Retro Tripper or something in like 30.5 liters, and this thing paddles just as good. Like it just, the where the foam is positioned and how it enters into waves, it just catches the waves and paddles really good.
So you don't necessarily have to foam it up in order to get ease. It's more the design that's giving you the ease. Yeah,
I mean, I think I could have gone down. You know, like I probably could have gone down in size, but I really, where I'm at with my surfing and like what I want to do, that this is perfect for me. So like the couple surf trips I've been on, that's why I've taken it, because you know, if you're tired or it's the afternoon or the wind's onshore or whatever, like you can ride this and still catch a ton of waves and surf at your highest level, while still having the forgivingness of like catching waves a little bit easier.
And also, if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, like if you're leaving an island on a boat and you can't see the wave that you're going to be surfing, like you know that this can handle almost anything.
Yeah, that's why I took it. I mean, I took it to Fiji twice. You know, and it was like I threw in the boat almost every time, unless we knew it was going to be really big. You know, because it would handle. It's basically my performance shortboard. You know, like if most people are riding a performance shortboard, I'm riding this. You know, just because it's more fun and forgiving, and then I can ride it when it's smaller, or bigger, or softer, or whatever. You know, I can just ride it in a lot of different conditions.
It's interesting to hear your take on the volume of like kind of positioning it with your shortboard. Like, Corey said the exact same thing.
Oh wow,
Corey Lopez.
Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
He's pretty
big deal.
He kind of he's trending, I think. And so you know, he was saying the same thing, because I think some people try and upsize it, and then they notice that the foam actually starts working against you in this design. And like kind of everyone I've spoken with that really likes it, it seems to be like right around their performance shortboard volume. Yeah,
I would agree. Like I wouldn't think it would be a board you'd want to upsize. Right, because I mean you're not going to get the performance that it's made to do out of it. So yeah, the 28.5 liters is perfect for me.
Awesome. And then so with this board, like what is the smallest waves you really liked it in, and the biggest waves you really liked?
Yeah, great question. I mean, it's not like when the people ask me, I don't think it's a grovel type board. You know, like if it's this big, you're riding something else, you know, or you're longboarding, or for me, maybe I'm foiling or whatever, but anywhere in the like waist high to as big as you want to go. You know, just
as big as you can paddle into.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like for me, if it's head high or bigger, I'm probably grabbing another board, but I've had some solid sessions on this thing, like, you know, at the lighthouse or whatever, some solid waves for sure. Yeah, and it's just it's fun to ride in those waves too, because it's different and it gets you in so easy and early. So.
And what about accessibility? Like, so we see like all the top pros riding it, and obviously they shred on the thing. But like, what about who can get into this board as far as like lower level shortboard surfers?
Yeah, I think it's a good shortboard substitute that's probably a little more forgiving. But what I tend to see, like in the shop when I'm talking to people, is like, oh, I'm going to get one, but I'm going to get it a little bit bigger. I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
So I think you do have to be comfortable getting it in the size that you would get a shortboard, but knowing that it's going to be a little bit more forgiving than a standard shortboard.
Yeah.
I hardly ever ride a standard shortboard. I mean, it's just not like how I want to surf, I think, you know, and it's just more fun, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, what we found on a few of them, upsizing, like where people did upsizes, you get like none of that foam really seems to help you, and you just sort of seem to be plowing.
Exactly.
It's actually holding you back. Like you think it's going to help you, but in this design it doesn't.
Right. I would agree.
Definitely holds you back. So let's talk about the lifespan of this thing, right? You've been surfing this thing for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Normally your boards in 2 years are in 2 pieces.
Right.
But this thing's still holding in there strong. Let's talk about Black Sheep.
I mean, honestly, when it came in, like, growing up as a kid in the 90s, I probably would have gravitated towards the poly one.
Yeah.
But these are hard to come by, right? Like they don't come and sit in the shop for long, you know? So when the 5.5 came in my dimensions in the Black Sheep, I was like, all right, I'm just going to get it, you know? And I have no regrets on that. Like, I'm not bummed that it's not poly. That being said, I did immediately throw a pad on it because it's so dark and it was summertime. Yeah. And I was like, I want just being able to throw it in and out of the car and not worrying about wax and just having the pad on it. So that was a good call. But yeah, I mean, I've ridden this thing for 2 years straight, and like we'll do a zoom in shot, but there's like hardly a heel ding here. I mean, it's like pretty much that's it. There's been like one ding on the rail here that was like, you know, pretty small. And obviously when it got repaired, it got sanded off, but that's it. You know, I mean, this thing's been ridden hard and has held up incredibly and still surfs with a lot of spunk.
So Black Sheep, stringerless, high deck durability. You know, because the whole durability thing gets kind of confusing because you've got like deck durability, which is like preventing all the golf ball like heel dents in the deck. You got breaking in half durability, and then you have dropping it in the parking lot durability. Those are kind of the main three. You might even have like also like the flex retention, you know, so the thing actually still surfs new as a fourth one. This board for sure is deck durability, and I would even say flex, like the retention of that original flex.
Yeah, I would say. It still feels great, like 2 years later.
Great.
You know?
And when you look at, I look at the deck of this board, you know, like just compared to like 2-year-old trade-ins or any of your other poly boards, and the thing is in really good shape. Like,
I know.
It's like, and you surf this board a lot.
Yeah, I've surfed a lot in a lot of variety of conditions, and I haven't held back on it at all, you know, so it's in really good shape.
That's cool. Let's talk about the fin setup on this board. You got the MR Twin Plus trailer.
Yep, 100%. That's the only way to go.
And you're just riding it like that all the time?
All the time.
No, not taking the trailer out? Or
No, yeah, I've ridden it just like this. This is the only way I've ridden it. The few times I've thought maybe I should put a regular thruster setup in it, like maybe in bigger waves, because I know Corey has said something about that, but I don't know. I've just stuck with this all along.
And it's just worked.
Yeah, I had 2 different sets of these, so like some of the clips might be with different color fins, but yeah, this is what I went to on day one and what I've ridden it in every session since then.
And let's talk about the pad setup. So you got a Creatures tail pad, Creatures front traction. Recently, I heard you mention something about like you really like this in the warmer weather or the average days, but like average temperatures, but like when it gets really cold. What's happening when it gets really cold?
Well, you can see where I tried to salvage this with like putting some wax on there. It just seems like this pad gets a little hard and a little bit slippery in the core cold of winter. I have surfed it throughout a lot of cold conditions. Like for example, this fall when we went to Fiji, we went in November, and I was surfing it in 3 mils, and then took it there, and you could tell like from session to session how much softer this pad was. You know, like I was feeling it in the ocean here, and it was like pretty hard, and then there you could tell it's really soft and grippy. So I've kind of put it away for the winter right now because we're into 7 mil boots. And I think just the base of the boot and then this plus the pad is just too much. And I've had a couple of instances where I have slipped out. I tweaked my knee last winter, slipping out on it a little bit.
And what about waxing the pad, like putting in cold water wax? Did that help?
It didn't seem to help.
It didn't seem to help.
It didn't seem to help. And the pad for summer is like all my summer boards from now on will have front pads. Because like in and out of your bag and your car, and you know, because I'm driving to work and then going for a session.
Because it's hot here in the summer.
It's hot here. You know, even if your board is in a bag in a cool spot, it's going to get all sticky and melty. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of front pads on like small summer boards because this will be all I surf in the summer.
Right.
The only board I surf all summer.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. Great feedback on the Lost RNF 96, Black Sheep construction, the MR fin setup from FCS, and then also the Creatures traction.
Yeah,
Any
absolutely.
of you out there have any questions on any of this, or would like to place an order for a Lost Black Sheep, Lost RNF 96, custom, stock off the rack, whatever it is, give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.